Welcome back to Breslov Campus. We'll be going into a little about the idea of the 7 candles connected to the brain. To explain, Rabbi Nachman in lesson 21 of Likutei Moharan, he explains that a person has what's called 7 candles. You have a menorah. These 7 candles are the 7 apertures of the head, the 2 ears, the 2 eyes, the 2 nostrils, and the mouth, adding up to 7. And they make a type of a shape of like branches connecting to make a type of menorah. Now Rabbi Nachman explains that the control of these 7 candles, which means controlling your eyes, which means filtering what not to see, and what allowing yes to see, filtering the ears to block your ears from hearing slander, idle talk, right, gossip, and yes, listening to the words of the Chachamim, of the Tzaddikim, of the sages. The nostrils, by taking a deep breath and not getting angry at the person who you're about to get angry, to exercising humility and restraint, which is the main reflection of what's called fear of heaven. Like the verse says, Ekev anava yirat Hashem. The heel of fear of heaven is humility. That means the bottom, the beginning point where you begin humility is fear of heaven, and fear of heaven is associated with the nose also. And mouth is obviously not speaking idol worship, not swearing, not speaking bad and very dirty and derogatory language, and yes, speaking words of Torah and mitzvot and prayer, etc. Right? So these are the 7 candles, and Rabbi Nachman explained something amazing. He said these 7 candles are dependent on the mind. These 7, they are the seat of the 4 senses, right? Hearing, seeing, scent, and taste, and they're connected to the brain. So he says that they are dependent on the mind, which means that the mind can control these 7. Which means what? That a person technically has no excuse to say, I'm a victim of my lusts and my temptations. I am uncontrollable. I cannot control my temptations. Here he's teaching that the mind controls the 7 apertures. And he expresses it very beautifully in that, just like you have a menorah, you have the 7 branches of the golden menorah in the temple, the candelabra. You have the candles on the top of the branches, and ultimately all the branches are connected to the middle branch, making one long branch. They're all connected. So he says, Rabbi Nachman, the 7 candles, these 7 apertures of the head, are inwards connected to the brain, similar to how the 7 branches connect. The candles are joined through the branches of the candelabra to being one. And this is like the tunnel connecting the senses to the mind. So now, based on this, when a person feels he cannot overcome and be strong in guarding his ears, guarding his eyes, his mouth, or his anger, his nose, that means that basically there's a blockage between the mind and the 7 apertures, the 7 candles. The mind is trying to tell the senses, control yourself, control the eyes, control the ears, control the mouth, but something's blocking and not allowing it for it to happen. Rav Nosson explains, one of the main things that can make the mind upside down so that it loses the control over the 7 candles, believe it or not, is the act of eating. When a person or overeats, or a person eats the wrong type of food, or doesn't eat for the right intentions, the grogginess developed by the improper eating can distort the connection between the mind and the 7 apertures. Similarly, he says also, drinking, intoxication, also makes the mind fumbled and wary, not allowing the mind to be in control of the 7 candles, the 7 apertures. So what to do? 2 healthy suggestions, simple, straightforward suggestions. Because when the mind is groggy, you can't be expected to do any even spiritual devotion. Even your davening is weighed down and heavy. So what to do? 2 amazing suggestions. Number 1, you might laugh, but this is the truth, is to take a walk. To go walk in order, through burning a little bit of calories by the walking, to let the excess toxins that have come into the person to leave so that the mind is clear again. That's one advice. And number two, drinking water, believe it or not. Drinking water is something so pure, because mayim is compared to the Torah. Mayim chaim. Mayim is something, water is always something beneficial. Like a mikveh, washing the hands, also drinking water is something so pure and to the point, and it helps also flush out. When a person uses these two weapons, a person will feel physically that the mind is back in shape, and he's able again to be on top of the 7 apertures. 2 practical applications hinted to by Rav Nosson in Likutei Halachot on how to guard the 7 candles. And if you feel just out of it and not in control, so it's time to take a break and to take care of the body for a few minutes in order to develop that connection again.